about like how he was trying to get it approved by his wife, you know. I was just like, I wanted to make sure that what I was going to do was going to be with like okay with my family and my wife. And I was just trying to like think about like if my husband came to me and was like, oh, I want to go like prance around in the South as a black man and see if I get killed or not, you know, just like I don't even know, like she must have been so strong because I don't know if I could have been like, sure honey, we'll have fun,
well,
like
and wasn't that wild also when he felt like sort of ashamed, like he wouldn't call his wife?
Oh yeah, that.
Because a black man shouldn't call a white woman, or like, you know, he's not supposed to.
They can't look at white women unless they look at you.
Yeah, I thought that was so weird.
In Montgomery, they couldn't look at them, period.
Yeah, Miss Martella told us about like a story about like a little guy, like a boy who had looked over and like made eye contact with a white woman and like he got lynched.
You need a pillow, Adam?
No.
I'm sure there's a lot of stories like
right.
that.
Yeah, I need a pillow.
Okay. What do you guys think of Christoph on the bus? The crazy, you know, he was really intellectual, but he was not quite with it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the guy
who like spoke Latin, Japanese, Spanish. You don't remember that guy?
See the guy who was like
he said he's gonna go kill people or something like that. Like
I think he was ashamed of his own race.
Yeah, he was, and then he's only talked to Griffin because
he was intellectual.
Yeah, and that's kind of ironic because you know none of the white people would actually talk to him.
Right.
And then he doesn't realize this guy's actually white he's talking to, so. And he's like, where they, I forgot where they were going, but he's like, oh, you want to come with me and like kill some people or something like that? I need to take care of some business. He was in the like jail for 2 years or something. So, I mean, what do you think of that, about like black people looking on, you know, intellectual blacks looking on their own race? What do you think?
That was one of the major problems. Like, they couldn't unify.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, there really was like so much separation. Like we learned in history, like even with like the two different movements, like trying to regain equality. Some of them were trying to be peaceful, and the others were just like, no, we've been like so mistreated. We have to be radical. Like there was no unification at all, and that's why I feel like it took so long to make any type of difference.
And I mean, well, at the same time, I was just talking about this actually the other day with my dad. The whole, you know, that's a kind of a white black guy, because you know, he acts white or whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't that just sound like doesn't that sound ridiculous to you?
It does.
That the only way, like
what
you are characterized
sounding white. What is sounding black?
Yeah, it just I don't know. I thought that was.
There's also black white guys. Think about it.
Well, I mean,
Good point.
That's what we're
Eminem, for example.
Right.
Right.
Or Daverick Moody on the other side.
Dude.
Well, he acts both.
Alex.
What?
Well, anyways.
Alright, well, I guess should we wrap this
That
up?
would be racist.
I just have one more quick thing.
You're the one who is.
Okay.
At the beginning of the story, he's puts forth that he's gonna answer everyone's questions as straightforward as he can. He's not gonna lie about anything. He'll tell everybody's plan and everything. But when he gets to Mississippi and Alabama, he says he writes down that he's scared of these people and he's worried that he's gonna be caught by these white people and they're gonna figure him out, right? So I thought that was interesting because, you know, he said he wasn't gonna lie about anything, but he's being deceptive in the way he's putting himself out to begin with. So.
Yeah.
I think we should wind this down with just on a scale of 1 to 10. What would you give this book? And
Oh, and why?
And yeah, just a brief little why.
Alright, why don't you start out?
Yeah.
I'd give it about an 8, I'd say, because I really liked it. I thought it was interesting. He really would go in depth and he'd tell it how it is. He really showed a lot of stuff that when you think about it, made a lot of sense, but you never really notice it unless you were both black and white, which is basically what he was. But at the same time, I was kind of hoping he'd get like beat up or chased out of town once, which he never did.
Well, I think it gets an 8 also for most exciting book I've ever read. It was definitely like it really kept my interest because it was surprising. It was interesting. I learned something. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say about an 8 because, like you said, like it really kept my interest. Like it wasn't something that I thought was like a burden to read, and I just thought it was really interesting and like kind of inspiring that like he just thought of it on his own. Like no one came to him and was like, hey, we want you to do this for us. It was just like out of his own will that he was just like, I think I'm gonna put myself out there and like try this. I really want to know what they go through. So I thought it was good.
Honestly, on the entertainment scale, I'd give this a 6 or 7. It really, I mean, it was on the purpose scale. I'd give it a 9 because during the time you got to realize what's going on and what this book and what his his research actually did for the community. And I mean, people were starting could talk about what they felt and believed more in this time period. So, but it's just there's a lot of ideas that he may have gone on too much about, and sometimes he summed things up a little too quickly, I thought, on some certain circumstances, but that's just me. What about you, Faz?
I'd give the book about a 7 because it's not the most entertaining book I've ever read, and it's not one that you should read for leisure. But on the other hand, it was a really powerful book, and it sent a lot of significant messages to a lot of people.
Alright.
I think that's it, Miss Bufkin.
Thanks,
I hope
Bufkin.
you
Bye, Miss Buffy.
We
I
love
hope you enjoyed this video.
Take it easy.
And,